Hello, my name is Brittany Stajinsky, and I am a nutrition student in the Introduction to Nutrition Counseling class at University of Houston. This is a part of an assignment in which I am practicing being a nutrition counselor. Do you give me permission to videotape this assignment?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you give me permission to show this videotape to the class?
Yes.
Okay. The three of my classmates and possibly one dietetic intern and my instructor might also see and grade this video. Is that permissible?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in today. So you gave me a call last week on Monday mentioning that you had a medical screening that recently has concerned you. Can you tell me a little bit more on why that brought you in and what it is?
Well, they test you for different things like cardiovascular, and then they also test your bone density. And when they did the bone density test, it revealed that I was a probable candidate to developing osteoporosis.
Okay. And that was it. Is there any more?
So I guess after being told that, that's what raised an awareness for me.
Gotcha. Now, does anyone else in your family have osteoporosis? Anyone family history of osteoporosis?
No one that I know of.
Gotcha. And how long ago was this medical screening?
It's been probably about 6 months.
Okay.
6 months.
Okay. And within that time period, have you seen any other dietitians or even used a dietitian in the past?
No. I just have been told that I probably probably would benefit by seeing someone.
Gotcha. Well, it's good you're taking action. Have you tried any diets within this previous time? Any certain foods, exercises?
I have been reading a few books, but I don't know how beneficial they've been so far.
Gotcha. So you're looking for confirmation in what you're doing to know that it's right?
Yeah, needing the guidance and some confirmations, yes.
Gotcha. So, is there any certain, so tell me a little bit more on the nutrition part that you have questions on.
I just want to try and learn as much about the foods that I can be eating that will actually help as far as preventing it. And I'm hoping that the same benefit to prevent it will also be beneficial in other areas, like to help me with my energy level as well.
Okay, so another concern is your energy levels.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more then about what your typical day looks like?
It's just get up, go to work, come home, and I'm, cook and do the dishes, clean up the kitchen, and then I'm usually pretty tired. I'm already out of energy, rather than to be able to have any extra time for any, family members.
Gotcha.
Or to, even come home and turn around and leave and go do anything,
Mm-hmm.
It's just no energy. It's just sapped.
I understand that's an extremely relatable issue. Lots of my clients go through the same thing. Time management, having energy after a long day and cooking and cleaning for the whole family is definitely tiresome.
Mm-hmm.
But there are things that we can do to help it a little. Can you tell me what time of day is it that you're getting tired? And the time of day you wake up and that you go to bed?
I usually wake up at 5, and then I usually go to bed at 9.
Gotcha. So that allows me to help plan a time for when the best times for you are to eat to maximize your energy throughout the day. That's why I asked that. So what is your first meal of the day usually? Like what time?
On the mornings that I do eat before I leave the house, it'll be, because I wake up at 5, I leave at 7:30, and if I'm going to eat before leaving home, it'll be set back around 7.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to eat breakfast at home, and then if I don't eat breakfast at home, I usually will get to the office, and that's usually about 8:30, and then so I usually, if I don't eat at like 7:15, then I'm eating at like 9 something.
Do you notice a difference in your energy on both those days? The days you do eat breakfast and the days you eat one later? Is there a noticeable difference at all?
When I notice a big difference is the days that I don't eat anything at all. But on the days that I've eaten breakfast, I usually do feel better. I guess it depends what I eat.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two things that we're looking at here. We're looking at what can help your osteoporosis, and then also your energy levels. Those are the two biggest issues that I'm getting clear on that you're wanting to fix. Yes, those two are the main topics. Yes. Now, can I ask you a little bit more about since you're realizing that you're more tired on the days that you're not eating, is there a reason why you're not being able to eat before work?
Yes, due to time. I have a difficult time. Some mornings I have chores around the house that I need to get done before I leave, and I just run out of time to put anything together as far as cooking something.
Gotcha. So you mentioned cooking something.
Yeah.
So have you ever considered something easy grabbing on the go? Is that, or you don't know many options? Or
I really struggled trying to figure out what's something that you could. I mean, I've tried to resort to just grabbing bread and peanut butter or something, and maybe have a piece of toast and peanut butter. That's just something as quick as I can think of. But
yes, and I mean
whether it's healthy or not, I don't know. I guess it would depend on type of peanut butter. I might need help knowing even what kind of peanut butter to buy.
Well, we'll cross that bridge. We'll cross that before this conversation ends. But so since you're noticing on the days that you're not eating breakfast, you have less energy, which this is common amongst most people. Lots of people need fuel in the morning. They need carbohydrates, some simple sugars immediately in the morning to help them manage throughout the day and keep their energies high. So we want to make it to where it's quick and easy for you in the morning to grab something on the go that's healthy. Maybe something that can also help your osteoporosis in the process, foods that help build bone density, so that we kill two birds with one stone. Because from the sounds of it, it sounds like a real struggle is the cooking part in the morning, the time, which is why you haven't been able to cook every morning, although it helps give you energy. Is that correct?
Right. It's just a matter of finding the time, and then sometimes I'm just struggling to know what to make.
What to make
if I'm
the time. And I assume, actually not assume, but I mean sometimes whenever we don't know what to make and we don't know what's right, it hinders us from having motivation because we don't know. So that's going to be our mission, to make sure you have clarity on what to do before you leave here. Yeah. So, secondly, what about your evening? So how you're feeling in the evening, what does it look like? What do you eat in the evening for a typical dinner and lunch? If we are even having lunch.
I do manage to eat lunch. With my particular job, my employer brings in lunch every day, and so I can't predict if that's going to be a healthy or unhealthy lunch, because one day a week it's usually pizza and salad, and another day it could be something healthy, and then another day sandwiches, just whatever they have, that's what I eat.
Gotcha.
But they are very good about providing some healthy things to choose from too, so
that's good.
I'm pleased with that. But
and so dinner time, are you skipping meals? Are you cooking healthy? Are you not eating?
I'm cooking. I'm just it's just trying to figure out what I can cook that's healthy and in the least amount of time possible.
Okay, so once again, it brings us back to time. We want easy, fast, healthy, in a short amount of time.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. So are you discouraged learning new recipes, or are you open to learning new recipes?
I'm open to learning new recipes.
So I'm going to mention something that has helped a lot of my clients with time management. There's a few recipes that I'm going to send to recommend to you that are easy, fast recipes that you can try in the evening. But as well as, so what about going to the grocery store? Because that's a part of the time management.
Well, that's been a real struggle because for years I always go one day a week, and that usually involves like an hour and a half of time, and that's taking time away from my weekend. And I have been told about, the curbside pickup and there's also delivery. And so I guess I'm old school and I just hadn't really tried it out yet.
Gotcha.
Um,
And well, when you're going to the grocery stores, that's once a week. Or is that once a week of going to the grocery store able to provide you the whole week worth of groceries?
my experience has been no, because when I go once a week, usually the fresh produce that I purchase is only good up to about 3 days. So if I want to try and have fresh produce after that third day, I usually will find myself having to go back. And often, depending on which items I buy, I'll try and cook and use up the ones that would go bad quicker than the others. I've noticed that sometimes one vegetable tends to go bad a lot quicker than the others.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to go in the order.
Yeah. So, okay, so what we're getting at here is, so you usually go to the grocery store once a week. Your fresh produce goes bad usually after 3 days. So what are you eating after those 3 days are over? You said you cook often. Is that every night after those 3 days are over?
I usually will try and cook a minimum
Sorry.
3. Oh, you're fine. 3 nights a week, and then after that, I'll try and do something. Well, it might be maybe eat out or something just really simple.
Okay.
But usually, when I do grocery shop, it's usually it will cover up to about 3 nights meals with I'll try and buy fresh vegetable for each one of those nights.
Okay, so you have 3 solid meals that you're getting with the fresh produce and that you're cooking, and you said the other 4 nights you might eat out because the other nights of the week because you don't have any food to cook. So 4 out of the 7 nights a week that you don't necessarily have food to cook because you haven't gone back to the grocery store, it's a long time. So we might so during that time period that you eat out, do you feel good after you finish eating out, or do you feel groggy versus when you cook at home? Is there a noticeable change in your energy levels versus eating out those 4 days versus not eating out?
Oh yeah.
There is.
I feel like there's a difference.
So you prefer to be able to have healthy cooked food at home?
I feel better eating healthy foods at home, and I do cook. I mean, there is cooking done in the other 4 days. It's just that it might be something that doesn't involve a fresh produce item.
Gotcha. I understand. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Yes. So, same. But anyways, so what we're looking at then is, so you don't like going to the grocery store more than once a week. I understand that because you have a busy schedule. You're a full-time mom and a full-time job. So you want something easy, and you've not tried the curbside pickup. That might not be ideal. Have you tried, and you want easy recipes too. Have you tried at all any meal prep, like HelloFresh? Because as long as I'm asking, is it? And
I haven't, but I've definitely heard and have been interested in knowing and learning as much about them as I can.
Okay.
Seeing, I'm open to recommendations.
Because those are an options for people who are busy. They want healthy, they want easy, and they want it at their front door. And it covers all 4 of those. That's not the only option, but that is an option. I'll make sure to put it in the email that I send later after we finish our conversation. And then I'll also send recipe options that are easy, fast, and quick that you can do at home that are healthy.
That would be very good.
So, the time management, it sounds like a issue that's going on is our time management, being able to go to the grocery store and cook. So that covers at one of these meal prep companies or having easier options to cook, takes that out of the equation, and hopefully will help you with your time management. Now, back to the osteoporosis. What are some of the questions that you have for me in regards to the nutrition part? I know you said you've done a little researching and tried a few things but not followed through on your own. What are some specific questions you have.
I just would like to try and learn what foods are the best foods to intake that are that fight against that.
Okay.
From what I've been reading, there's several things, and also the other thing too, besides the osteoporosis, was the vitamin D. I'm low in my vitamin D, so I'm wanting to try and add all the foods that I can that are going to help in that area.
Absolutely. So there's a couple things we can do for the vitamin D part. There's obviously specific food groups that are going to help you, which we will cover in this session. But I want to touch a little bit on your exercise, because this also plays a role in the energy. We'll bring it right back to the nutrition. But exercise, are we doing any physical activity outside?
Not really.
No. Okay.
Not really.
Or do you go to the gym or exercise at all, like anywhere else? Doesn't have to be outside, gym, room.
I am doing some bicycling, but I have been told in the past that instead of doing the bicycling, which I know is good for my cardio and all, I've been told that I need to do more weight-bearing exercise. And I have, from what I've read, been told that that's supposed to be good also for if you are a candidate of the osteoporosis, because I think the weight-bearing is I guess, building you're building stronger bones, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really certain.
Yes.
So
the giving exercise, this is not my scope of practice. I do recommend maybe seeing a professional, like a trainer for weight resistance help. But there's one simple thing that I do know as a dietitian as far as vitamin D, and that is being outside in the sunlight is one very, very easy way / the most natural way to get vitamin D. There are foods that we're going to cover, but walking for 30 minutes a day outside in the sun can make a huge difference for someone looking to get more vitamin D in their diet, and can help you in the long run with your energy, because movement does help us in the long run. Mm-hmm. So that's just something to consider outside of the nutrition part, which we'll have a follow-up on how we can make it a goal. Would 30 minutes of walking a day be a doable thing for you?
I can push for 30. I usually will manage something like 20 minutes.
20
minutes or at max 30 minutes a day with some form of walking. I'm not always able to do it all at once, but I might do like 15 in the morning, another 10 in the afternoon, and then some at night. I know I'm not sure if that's right or wrong, if I should be doing it all at once.
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. And I'd even say if 20 minutes is more of a doable thing for you, it's more about the consistency of doing it. So if 20 minutes is more manageable for you and you can do that constantly every day and make that a goal, maybe even on your lunch break, then we want to set that mini goal. Because that's a good way to get vitamin D. But other ways are dairy. That's a very popular one. Which, once again, so I will write it on. I brought a few things, though, with a list. Because you did mention before us meeting that you had a medical screening and one of your concerns were osteoporosis. So I pulled up some things from my files and notes that I wanted to give you that I thought might be beneficial for you. We'll put this aside, though, because I'm going to give that to you later. But dairy is a good option for dairy, sunlight, for achieving vitamin D. Now, we also want to cover the other food categories, not just vitamin D, but how are your fruits, your vegetables, your proteins, as far as, because those play a huge role in also the onset of osteoporosis. Do you have any questions on those topics? Fruits, vegetables, what does it look like? How much do you consume of produce in a day?
Well, I am curious about what I'm supposed to consume. I mean, there's been days where I'll just eat maybe probably 2 cups of fruits or vegetables when I think it's our food it says 5. And I'll only manage like 2 cups, so I'm not so sure all the time if I'm getting enough.
Gotcha.
What I do eat is just, a pretty small portion.
Gotcha.
And usually try and, even grab a couple of vegetables in the morning if I don't have time to make a breakfast. I have tried to buy, to get like broccoli or bell pepper or a cucumber or something and just have it and try and eat it, for a snack even.
That's good.
So, I mean, I do try and get a little bit, but I don't know if I'm getting enough.
And this brings us back to also, you need easy. You need easy options that are fast options.
Yeah.
Usually vegetables are on-the-go solutions. That's fine. Easy vegetables are on-the-go solutions. Can be things such as raw broccoli. Do you eat raw broccoli? There is Chinese cabbage. There's a couple different things which I will include on the list because I know it's a lot to consume right now if I just gave you a list of things. But we want to set some goals for you. So one of our goals that are going to help us energy-wise and the osteoporosis. So energy, we want to make sure we're consuming something in the morning because you mentioned that you did better when you ate something first thing in the morning, and then also the evenings that you weren't eating or you were eating out, you felt more groggy and less energized. So we want to make sure we handle the evening part and the morning part. Our solution for the evening part is going to be the meal plan options that, like HelloFresh, I'll send you a couple options. And then the second one is I'm going to send you a couple easy recipes. Does that sound good for the evening as far as a few things that we want to try out? And yes? No? Yes? If you have any questions or concerns, please ask. I don't want to be pressuring you into trying a meal prep company that you don't want to try. There's many, many options, so I will send that to you. This is just a suggestion or recommendation because you mentioned you don't like grocery shopping and it's really getting to the grocery store that's difficult.
Yeah, time has been a real issue. I can't fit in what I need to do due to time.
Yeah, and it helps a lot of people whenever they have it at their doorstep. There's easy instructions and they can cook it real fast. So that's an evening option. So the meal prep and then a couple easy recipes that we're going to try from here on out. Exercise, what was our goal again?
I think you said 20-30 minutes per day of some form.
And do you think that's an obtainable goal?
I'll do my best.
Okay, that's all I want to hear. But we want it to be an obtainable goal. Yeah. So would a 15-minute walk be obtainable?
I can do 20 minutes a day.
Okay, so we want something obtainable. So 20 minutes.
Do 20 minutes walking each day.
Okay, so 20-minute walk's obtainable, and so is the meal prep if you choose and desire to want to.
Yeah.
Now, in the mornings, we were skipping meals too, so we want to get to the bottom line of that, and we also want to fix the lack of nutrition for things that will help us in the osteoporosis department. So maybe first thing in the morning, you mentioned you don't always have fresh produce on you. You can freeze some of your fresh produce. Have you ever considered that? Okay, so great. Then you can freeze some of that fresh produce. Have you ever tried smoothies in the morning? Like a green smoothie?
I have, but I hadn't been consistent because of my lack of discipline to stock what I need to make them, and maybe
so that goes back to going to the grocery store
or something to help me know what items I need. I don't know.
So that goes back to going to the grocery store and making sure you have enough.
Right.
Because we don't want to go back to the grocery store during the week.
No.
I gotcha. So then I do suggest I will give a recommendation and I'll write exactly how much you should be consuming in the morning and then what that will also include. So the amount per serving each morning, and so when you go to the grocery store you know exactly how much you should buy to last you throughout the week, and you can freeze it so that it lasts. So you said you're open to green smoothies though. Okay, because have you ever had any and that you liked before?
I do like some of them. I mean, I have made one with some yogurt and berries and banana, and it's just, just I guess discipline, trying to discipline myself to be consistent in making it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes I think that I'm not really creative enough to know what things to put together.
Yeah, for some, green smoothies might be good for them, and that might not be good for you. You might even think, putting vegetables in the blender, that's an extra 5 minutes. That might be even too much. You might need something even more convenient. So I want to make sure there's a couple raw vegetables, nuts, fruits that we're agreeing on, ones that help osteoporosis, that you'd be willing to grab on your way out. Do you like, so some of the really important ones, do you like raw broccoli and Chinese cabbage, spinach? Do any of those, do you ever eat them raw?
I'll eat spinach raw. I'll eat broccoli raw. The celery I'll eat, but I don't think I've eat like kale. I don't care for that raw. Collard greens, I know they're good for you, but I don't like to eat them raw. As far as the green vegetables, probably the celery, the spinach, and the broccoli.
Okay.
The three that I can think of.
Those are great options. So we're gonna put that at the top of the priority list, just because they are very, very beneficial to those who have onset osteoporosis or who already have osteoporosis. So those are a couple vegetables, and which included, I'll send it through the email and include it with this list later, so that you don't have to memorize all of this. But now on to fruits that you possibly like. Some that are good for osteoporosis include oranges, pineapples, strawberries. Are there any specific fruits that you love?
I do like oranges a lot.
Okay.
I do like them.
Okay.
And occasionally, I guess when pineapples are on sale at the store, I'll usually pick them up.
Okay. Bananas. Do you like bananas? Or high in potato?
Yeah, I do.
You do like bananas. Okay. So we have a couple fruits. We have a couple vegetables. How about, do you have nuts? So what I'm trying to get at are easy hand things that we can grab on the go in the morning. It doesn't have to be blended up, because although green smoothies are going to be an option, we want ones that are even easier, that raw stuff that we can grab in the morning and just put in the bag and go. And so we have a couple vegetables, we have a couple fruits. Now, do we like nuts? Because that's also a source of, we want a source of protein too.
I do like almonds.
Almonds?
I
Okay.
like almonds.
That's a great option. And these are a few great options to begin with. So our mission in the morning, to help with our energy and getting what we need to into our diet for osteoporosis, is to, if it's not blended in a smoothie, we're going to grab one raw vegetable, one raw fruit, and a couple nuts, so that there's a balance of each category first thing in the morning. Does that sound doable to you? Because there are easy grab options, and then there's the smoothie option if you want to be more frou-frou.